My name is Mark, and I'm 32 years old. I grew up in a small town in the Midwest, the kind where everyone knows everyone else's business. My family was close-knit. We weren't rich, but we had what we needed. My mom was the heart of our home, warm, caring, always making sure everyone was okay. Dad worked hard at the local factory, and he was the strong, silent type. Life was simple, predictable, and in many ways, that felt good. But I'd be lying if I said things were always peaceful. It wasn't until I met Sarah that everything changed. Sarah is a woman I'll never forget. I first saw her at a coffee shop in town, sitting alone at a corner table. She had this air of mystery about her that instantly pulled me in. She wasn't the type to strike up a conversation, but she had an aura of quiet confidence, something that made you want to know her story. Maybe it was her dark hair that framed her face perfectly, or maybe it was the way she would look out the window, lost in thought, as if she was in another world entirely. Whatever it was, I was captivated. And it didn't take long before I found myself sitting across from her, sharing a cup of coffee and a conversation that would change my life forever. At first, things were great between Sarah and me. We went on dates, had deep talks, laughed a lot. But over time, I began to notice something about her, something I couldn't quite put my finger on. She was distant. Not in a cold way, but in a way that left me feeling like there were parts of her I couldn't reach, no matter how hard I tried. I remember one night, about 6 months into our relationship, we were sitting on the couch at her apartment. I was talking about my job, about the promotion I was hoping for, and suddenly, she just stopped listening. Her eyes glazed over, and she stared at the floor. I asked her if everything was okay, and she just smiled, brushed it off, and said she was tired. But that smile, it wasn't the same. It didn't feel genuine. That's when the first crack appeared in the foundation of our relationship. I didn't know it at the time, but that small moment would snowball into something much larger. Days turned into weeks, and things between us grew more strained. It was like Sarah was drifting away, bit by bit, and no matter how many times I asked if something was wrong, she would just smile and say she was fine. I didn't know what to do. I started questioning myself. Was it something I said? Did I do something to upset her? One night, I couldn't take it anymore. We were at dinner, and the silence between us was unbearable. I put my fork down and looked her in the eyes. "Sarah, what's going on?" I asked, my voice shaking. "You've been so distant lately. I don't know how to help you if you don't tell me what's wrong." She froze. For a long moment, she didn't say anything. Then, slowly, she spoke. "Mark, I'm not who you think I am." That one sentence hit me like a ton of bricks. I didn't understand what she meant. What did she mean she wasn't who I thought she was? "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice cracking. "I've been pretending," she admitted, her eyes filled with guilt. "I've been pretending to be someone I'm not. I don't know how to be the person you want me to be." Her words left me speechless. I had no idea what she was talking about. "Sarah, I don't want you to be anyone else. I just want you to be you." But she shook her head. "You don't understand. You think I have it all together, but I don't. I've been running from who I really am for so long that I don't even know what's real anymore." That night, everything started to unravel. Sarah shared a part of her life I had never known, her past, her struggles with self-worth, her fear of never being good enough. It was so much darker than I could have imagined. The strong, independent woman I had fallen in love with had been hiding behind a wall of secrets. I wanted to help her, to fix things, but I didn't know how. It felt like we were standing at the edge of a cliff, and I couldn't reach her. The more I tried to pull her back, the further she seemed to slip away. A week later, Sarah left for a weekend trip to visit her family, and while she was gone, I found something that I shouldn't have. A letter. It wasn't addressed to me, but to someone named Jake. I didn't recognize the name, but the letter seemed like an old one, filled with longing and unresolved feelings. My heart sank as I read through it, each word cutting deeper into my already fragile state of mind. When Sarah came back, I didn't confront her right away. I needed time to process what I had found. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. What was going on? Why hadn't she told me about Jake? One evening, after dinner, I finally asked her about it. "Sarah," I said, "I found the letter." "Who's Jake?" Her face went pale. For a moment, she didn't speak. Then, in a voice barely above a whisper, she confessed. "Jake was someone I was involved with before I met you. He was the love of my life, but I lost him." I couldn't believe it. It wasn't just the letter, it was everything she had never told me about her past. It felt like I didn't even know her anymore. I was angry. But more than that, I was hurt. I didn't understand why Sarah couldn't have been honest with me from the beginning. Was I not enough? Was I just a distraction to her? I tried to hold back the tears, but it was no use. I let them fall, each one a reflection of the pain I felt. "I don't know what to do with this," I said, my voice trembling. "I don't know if I can trust you anymore, Sarah." She reached out to touch my arm, but I pulled away. "Please, Mark," she begged, her voice cracking. "I never meant to hurt you. I was trying to protect you from my past, from the parts of me that I don't want anyone to see. But it was too late. The damage had been done. Our relationship didn't just affect the two of us. My family had grown attached to Sarah, and I could see the hurt in their eyes when I told them about what had happened. My mom called me later that evening, her voice full of concern. "Mark, I know this is hard, but you have to decide what's best for you. Don't let someone's past define your future." It was a hard truth to swallow, but she was right. Sarah's mystery wasn't just about the secret she kept, it was about the walls she built around herself. And no matter how much I loved her, I couldn't be the one to break them down. We ended things quietly, both of us holding back tears but knowing it was for the best. I never got all the answers I was looking for, and maybe that's what made Sarah so mysterious in the first place. She was someone who had so much to hide, even from herself. I don't know if she'll ever let someone in enough to heal, but for now, I had to let go. As I sit here today, I still think about her sometimes. And I wonder, why are women so mysterious? Maybe it's because they carry more inside of them than anyone could ever truly understand. Or maybe it's because they don't know how to let it all out, even when they want to. But one thing I've learned is that mystery isn't always something to be feared. Sometimes, it's just part of who we are. So, what do you think? Have you ever found yourself in a relationship where you felt like you just couldn't understand the other person? Or maybe you've been the mysterious one yourself. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more stories, and share this with someone who might relate to the story. Thanks for listening.